This one's a video just about yesterday's game. Hello there, hope everyone's doing okay. Hope everyone got back safe from the Dagenham game. A bit disappointing the result in the end, with Grimsby's going down 3-2 to Dagenham Redbridge yesterday. But I do want to sort of address the elephant in the room. And everyone knows what the elephant in the room is. It's a lot of people now starting to call for Paul Hurst's head. To be honest, I'm not one of those. I know there's a lot of frustration around the team at the moment and around performances, but I'm going to put something in to a little bit of context for the sort of disgruntled supporters, and I'm going to call them out a little bit on this. As well on sort of like the indecisiveness of the supporters, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Well, the first part of what I'm going to say is we've lost 5 in a row, well, 5 out of the last 6, 5 away games running, and we haven't played well in a lot of them. I think 3-2 yesterday flattered us, as well as flattered them. So it wasn't necessarily the best. But I was pleased for Sam Bell to get a goal. Just disappointing. We've got fighting it, but we just haven't been good enough lately. The first bit I want to sort of talk to Grimsby fans about is, okay, let's take this in context. Like I said, we've lost 5 of our last 6 games. All 5 of those games have been away from home. Now, I looked into this a bit earlier on. Before I made this video, I looked into this a bit earlier on. Since the start of October, so since I believe the 2nd of October, when we played Dover, so that's 12 games, we've only played at Blundell Park 4 times. Since the start of October. I don't know any club in this league that I can think of that's done that. That's including cup games. So that's basically saying that 8 of our last 12 have been away from home. We haven't won in the league since the middle of October. At Woking. We actually won 2 back-to-back away games. I believe it was about the 16th of October. 16th to the 22nd of October. When we won, which was away at Woking. After the win over Altrincham on the Tuesday night. We then went to Woking and won there. We haven't won away since then. Now, let me just put that into context. We haven't won away since then. At home, we've won 2 games and lost 1 since then. And if you add Dover into it, there you go. It's only been Notts County that has took 3 points away from Blundell Park and didn't really deserve to take 3 points out of us then either. And the reason why I say you have to take all this in context and, you know, where we all are in the way of context. Right. Let's look at our next 10 games that we've got coming up. 7 of our next 10 games are at Blundell Park. The only games that we have got away from home between now and the middle of February are Halifax on Boxing Day, Wrexham, I believe that's on the 25th of January, which is a Tuesday night, and Notts County on the 5th of February. There you go. We are only away 3 times. If you take the FA Trophy game against Stockport out of it, we're only away from Blundell Park 3 times in the next 10 games. 3 of the toughest games you could have got away from home. But 3 games in the next 10 league games away from home. So, if we look at it, we start with Chesterfield on Saturday, then Bournemouth the following Tuesday. I don't have any fear going into the home games. My concern at the moment is Town away from home. I feel like we can get something against Chesterfield and Bournemouth because we have one of the strongest home records in the National League this season. Am I saying out of the 7 games that we've got at BP between now and the middle of February, are we going to win them all? We've got a good chance of doing. But I don't think we'll lose very many at home. Now, this will be the key to Paul Hurst. This run of home games that we're going to have will decide about Paul Hurst because it will give him Christmas. It will give him the January transfer window to see what business he can do because I don't think Paul is happy with the entirety of his squad anyway. He's got numbers, but I don't think he feels like he's got the quality or mentality in some of the squad that he probably wants. So if you look at that, 7 of the next 10 are here at Blundell Park. This is what we judge Town on. I do believe that Town need to find a plan B, but the plan B to me is away. That's where we have to find the plan B. Not here. Not at Blundell Park. It was we played better at Dagenham than we did against Southend. A lot better at Dagenham than we did against Southend. We scored twice against Dagenham. We only scored once against probably one of the poorest teams in the division. But we got the win at home. Funny, isn't it? Well, at home, we seem to be... So the plan B for me is playing away. We need to find a suitable way of playing away from home. I went to Solihull the other week. We looked flat as a pancake. We just didn't. Solihull weren't fantastic, but they were solid. We played okay. And looking back at the highlights of that game, we played okay. No end product. And I think going into these next 10, I think we've got to aim for at least win the home games. Or not lose at home is what we've got to try and do. Keep the good home form up. And then hopefully the away form will turn. Because like I said, we've got a great set of fans at home. I've had a bit of a disturbance about the disabled supporters. I saw a video of people, the poor Hurst out and in brigade and all this sort of stuff. I've heard some disturbing stuff about what could have happened to or upset amongst the disabled supporters about being scared and stuff like that. If guys, just consider them. Me being one myself. They can't move out of the way. We get people blocking our views a lot of the time when people get overexcited because we've scored. But try and be a bit considerate towards the disabled supporters. They can't they can get excited, but they can't, jump up like you guys can, run towards the barriers and all that sort of stuff. So for any Grimsby Town away supporter, please try and be aware if there are any disabled supporters there. Please try and be aware of them, because we don't want them frightened. We don't want them worried. We want disabled supporters to go to games as much as all you guys go to games, and great support, over 500 again, on a cold December afternoon. Credit to you all, but just for the disabled supporters, please just be aware that there may be some disabled supporters there, and we don't want them upset and worried that they might get hurt. We really don't want that to have happen. But going on a bit more now, back to the Paul Hurst in or out debate. I understand how fans are getting very, very, very frustrated. Like I said, we've not won away since the middle of October. We haven't really looked like winning away since October. But we've probably played okay, but there's been no finishing product. Like I said, I'm neither here nor there on the Hurst Out Brigade. The next 10 games will decide to me what side I actually am. Because like I said, with the amount of home games that we've got, that to me will decide. To me, that will then decide what side of the fence I sit on. To me, I've seen a lot of the debate about people are saying if Paul loses on Saturday or the team loses Saturday, he needs to go. I'm still waiting to see a lot of plausible options to go right. If we let Paul Hurst go, who is out there that Grimsby could realistically get? Now, this is a challenge I'm going to give to all Grimsby Town supporters. If Paul Hurst is let go, and I really don't want to see this, because if Paul Hurst goes over Christmas, this will be our third manager in as many years. I don't want to start to become a sacking club. I'm not saying the results have been good. Performances haven't been too bad. In some, not in all, but in some. But I don't want to become that kind of club. You go on a bit of a poor run, then all of a sudden you sack the manager all of a sudden, and then have to get somebody else in, and then they've got the same problem, and then we end up being judgmental because then we judge them. Then if they don't have a good 10, 11 games, then we sack them, and it starts to become a bit of a cycle. But for anybody that is in the Paul Out Brigade, the Hurst Out Brigade, give me some names. Give the fans some names that you would like to see take over from Paul. Who is better than Paul at the moment that we can get? Who's best that Grimsby can get other than Paul Hurst? If you can give me, and I want as many people on this video to comment, and also on the forums and that, 3 names. Give me 3 names in the National League or in and around the lower leagues that could take over at Grimsby. Remember, we're not the amount of money Wrexham have got. We haven't got the amount of money Stockport have got. That doesn't guarantee them anything, by the way, as we know. Wrexham have got Phil Parkinson, and things like that. And, Dave Chandler has left Hartlepool for Stockport, and I can guarantee you that mainly is only due to the finances, because why would you want to leave somebody in the top half of League 2 to come and drop down to the National League again? It's financial, simple as that. We haven't got those kind of funds, I don't believe, to be throwing around to do that. So my question to the Hurst Out Brigade is, give me 3 names that you would like, realistically, if Paul was to be let go, which I don't think will happen, because I still think he's got support of most of the fan base. But this is just for the Hurst out brigade. Who would you bring in? I did see somebody say in one of the forums earlier, it's not my decision to choose or to decide. So my question to that fan is, I'm sorry, why is your opinion valid then? And the reason why I say that is you've got a right to an opinion as to who you would then, if you don't want Paul, who you'd want to be in charge. Doesn't mean that's who you're going to get, but who you would like to see in charge. And I'd like to get people's opinions. Are you Hurst in or Hurst out? If you're Hurst out, who do you want in? And like I said, everyone's entitled to an opinion. Me, I'm neither. I'm not Hurst in. I'm not Hurst out. I will become February because I roughly know where we are. You know, I mean, if we're losing games at home, then I'll be concerned. Then I'll be very concerned. And then we have to find a way of winning away. That's when I'll be concerned. So, be annoyed, be frustrated. But anybody that's in that brigade, who do you want? Give us names. Give fans names. I know we've had the tongue-in-cheek ones of Klopp and all that, you know. That's just tongue-in-cheek, that. We realistically, everyone knows you're not going to get ones like that. I like the humour in that. But no, realistically, if you do want Paul out, who do you want in? Who would you, if anyone said, okay, you have the chance to choose what manager we take, who would you want to interview? Again, it's opinion. And no one can begrudge anybody an opinion, but to just call for somebody's head, and then when you get asked who do you want, you don't know who you'd want. So what you're saying is, when people say that, my call out on fans like that is, if you don't know who you want, so you don't know who would be a better fit, how can you judge the guy we've got in regards to how do you know Paul can't turn it around? And people say, yeah, but that's because you like Paul, Dean, so you're going to say this. Like I said, I'll make my judgment on the next 10 games because we have 7 at home. Like I've already said in this video. That will be my judgment. My judgment won't be now. I'm neither. I'm not Paul in, I'm not Hurst in, and I'm not Hurst out. I'm an optimistic fan, frustrated like the rest of us. But I'm not losing my rag. But we have to find a way to win away, to play away. Because I don't think we've got one. I think we try to play the same away as we do at home, and it's not working. It's not working, and I think that's the way we have to look at it. Another thing I'll just plug is, if you're looking for more Grimsby Town chat this evening, the guys over at DN35 podcast, they'll be doing their live YouTube and Spotify show at 8 o'clock this evening. So if you want to get your opinions into them, do that at around about 8 o'clock this evening with Alex and the boys and gals. They'll be doing a great podcast for them. So do listen out for that and give your opinions to those guys. What's your opinions? I know there's a lot of unrest at the minute because the form's not been great, but maybe we overachieved at the start. And where Paul did say right in his post-match yesterday, we can't become reliant on McAtee. And now with McAtee out 3 games, by looks like it was a real serious red card. All the pressure's probably on Sam Bell, but I think there could be a bit of a reshuffle in the winter. I think a few of the lone players will go back. I think Reven will go back. I think he's gonna go. Probably Papega, because he seems to be right out of favour. I don't know why, but he seems to be right out of favour. You know, but I think Reaven will definitely be sent back to Aston Villa. Could be an attitude thing, things like that. But now it's down to you guys. Why, if you are in the out brigade, why? Well, I won't say why, because I've got to find out what the answer would be. But who would you want then? Who would you say, do you know what, if we get rid of Paul, this guy is better that Town can realistically get? I'm not saying don't get upset and don't be annoyed. I'm just saying be realistic with it, you know, and look at the fixtures coming up. Like I've said before a couple of times in this video, 7 out of the next 10 league games are at Blundell Park. Judge them after that, because that will take us through January and into the start of February. And if our form doesn't pick up, especially if we start losing games at Blundell Park, then I'll be with everyone else. Then I'll be with everyone really starting to question, is Paul the right guy? At the moment, I think he is, but my opinion could change. But let's give him these next 10, where we can't argue about travelling. We can't complain about travelling in the next... we can't really argue about the next 10 games because, you know, like I said, we've got Halifax and Notts County in that, and they're not long trips. So, you know, let's get behind the boys. Of course, be frustrated, but let me know what you really think. What, you know, what's your opinion on this? Let me know. And like I said, do catch Alex and the guys on the DN35 podcast at 8 o'clock this evening. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. Say hi to the guys. Give your opinion to them. And I will see you guys next week. It'll be for 2 videos next week. One will be the National League preview and one will be the big preview starting up against Chesterfield next Saturday. So I will see you guys for a couple of videos next week. Let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video. Drop a comment. Let me know. Let's have a productive talk, shall we? And I will see you guys very, very soon.